Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Coming up on the program, Department of State Services, DSS, and the Nigerian Army have rescued an abducted businesswoman in Port Harcourt. The Kogi state government builds rehabilitation center for drug addicts. And the Cross River State government begins dualization of Odukwani Road after many years of abandonment. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin with stories bordering on security. The Department of State Services, the DSS, and the Nigerian Army have rescued an abducted businesswoman in Port Harcourt and arrested 2 suspects in the case. The woman who narrated her experience explained that the leader of the kidnapping gang is reportedly a clergyman. Also, it was mentioned that security operatives should do routine checks on uncompleted and abandoned buildings, suggesting that a lot of kidnapped victims are kept there. 2 of the suspected kidnappers, who demanded a ransom of 50 million naira, have been arrested.
I just had a gunshot at my left hand and was like, the gunshot was close. I didn't know what was happening. So some of them, I think, ran back and said, who did it? Who did it? Who did it? That was just what I had. And I think as the gunshot got closer by, I think they ran off. So when the policemen came, I didn't even know, because I didn't know what was. I thought maybe there was a clash between them or something. So when they now forcefully opened the window, they said, who is it? Who is it? I said, because I didn't know what to say. I was confused. I said, I'm a woman. They said they should bring the torch. Let them see. They now brought the torch. They now saw my face. They now said, who are you? I said, they kept me here. They now said, are you Mrs. Adeola? Michael. That was where I just, again, I said, I'm the one. So that was how it happened this morning.
A kidnapped victim recounting her ordeal at the hand of abductors. She has since been freed, will stay with security. The Kwara State Governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, is worried about the state of insecurity in the country. The governor said this after receiving the GOC 2nd Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Okudili Azinta, at the government house in Ilori, the state capital. The governor seeks more collaboration with different security agencies in the country in the area of intelligence sharing.
Since the Civil War, this is the first time that Nigeria is faced with a major challenge on insecurity. Yes, it's not unconnected with the global trend as we see, but from a peculiar perspective, it seems that there's some force that is waiting to take advantage of our differences as a country. The good thing about it is that Nigerians are quite conscious of this, and they are working to ensure that we bring an end to the use of our differences to divide us rather than to unite us.
Mr. Abdul Fattah Ahmed, Governor of Kwara State. The Canadian government is seeking to strengthen relationships with the Lagos state government in expanding infrastructure and human capacity building in key sectors of the economy, particularly education and health. This was the crux of discussions between the High Commissioner of Canada to Nigeria and Governor Kunmi Ambode of Lagos State when the Canadian envoy led a delegation on a courtesy call to the governor in his hometown of Ekpe. The Canadian government is set to deliver a biosafety laboratory worth about $1 billion to the state Lagos government in fulfillment of its promise made after the historic feat against Ebola outbreak in the state in 2014.
We decided to work with Lagos because of the excellent systems that were in place and were demonstrated in your response to the Ebola crisis. So I think that's a first step, and I know there's many other areas where we can explore collaboration, including on the people-to-people side. As you know, many Nigerians are studying in Canada. Many influential Nigerians have studied in Canada, and we'll have many more. We have 12,000 students in Canada. And I think with our growing and influential diaspora in Canada as well, many of those Nigerians are from your state. We'll have great opportunities to collaborate on that people-to-people level.
Even though we came out from the Ebola crisis, ever since that success story, the Canadian government has decided to partner with Lagos State, donate to us a new laboratory that actually deals on biosafety and also issues that relate to bioprevention matters. And we know extensively that with the partnership that we're having, this will go and extend into other areas also. Like we've said, there's so much of expertise that we can actually take away from Canada in terms of capacity building for PPP projects and also things that relate to transport system also.
Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, Governor of Lagos State. His counterpart in Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, has admonished President Muhammadu Buhari for its stance of his administration's stance against drug abuse in the country. The governor stated this in Lokoja, the state capital, during the commissioning of the Rehabilitation Center for Drug Addicts in the state.
The wife of the Kogi State Governor has established a rehabilitation and resource center as part of efforts to fight drug abuse and other social vices. The chairperson of the Northern Governors' Wives Forum, representing the wife of the president, Mrs. Hadiza Mohammed, royal fathers, government functionaries, amongst others, are here to commission the project. Governor Yahaya Bello arrives and they proceed to cutting the tape, signifying the opening of the rehabilitation center for use. The state's NDLEA commander educates and assures the people that the agency will not rest until drug abuse is reduced to the barest minimum.
It is my hope that this awakening by the wife of the Kogi State Governor and the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development will be sustained, that this rehabilitation center, we are going to sustain it.
Governor Bello believes that all disturbed youth should be rehabilitated. He also advised politicians in the country to free their minds of corruption.
You have to rehabilitate those failed politicians. As much as we are rehabilitating the drug pushers and those that have abused drugs, these other men of yesterday have abused power and they need help. They need to be rehabilitated.
There are many who believe that centers like this across the country, if properly funded and sustained, will help to reduce crime and vices in our society.
The Niger state government is set to spend the sum of 16 million naira for the settlement of Keso community in Mokwa local government area of the state. The deputy governor explained this during a visit to the community, where he is also pledging the commitment of the state government to provide necessary infrastructure for the people. This is Keso Community, a small settlement situated in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, along the river Niger. The community, which is predominantly an agrarian one, suffers perennial flooding almost every year, which has affected their source of livelihood and left the community in untold hardship. During the rainy season, the people are forced to vacate their houses and abandon their farmland, while schooling activities are stalled for almost a term until the rain subsides. The village head and other residents of Keso community recount how life becomes challenging during the rainy season.
Every time it rains, everywhere is completely submerged. Even my palace is not spared.
The extension of these dams, we are not able to do this again. So it is a very negative impact to people of Kedo Kingdom.
But now help is finally coming the way of the community, as the state government has got a new place for them where they can always resettle during the rainy season. The acting governor, Mohammed Keso, who happens to be from the community, says the land will be ready in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
The Excellency approved and directed the Minister of Land to come and take the household assessment of this community.
the community is happy with the news as they gather to pray for the state and the peace and unity of Nigeria. Their hope is that the next rainy season will not meet them in this place.